In this video, we're gonna quickly sort of like test drive the template. I'm going to compose a few very simple or casual textures, and I may find things like this track's too loud or too soft, this has a little bit too much reverb or whatever. We adjust the things so it's ready to start composing, and that's gonna end this series on building the template. And then the next section is going to be composed in a specific composer's style. So we're gonna start testing the strings, and the first thing that I'm gonna test is balance. Is at 150. If the lowest string staccatos are at -6 and mezzo forte, then it's going to be too loud. So we're gonna set them all at 0 and I'm gonna bring them all at -10 or something like this. Then I'm gonna make sure that here in right I can see the gain, and I'm going to configure this so I can see the gain, and I'm going to make sure that they're all at 0. So I'm gonna select this here. All right, let's see now how this sounds. So the piano, the way it is, I hit forte, it's a -12 or something like this. Those type of strings. -15. Okay, cool. So everything is at -10. That means that when I've got like a 2T texture, 2T orchestra texture, well, it's gonna build up. And I basically want to avoid to saturate the output of the master track. You can do this here and use sort of like the track fader, which actually is the output of each track, or you can do it at the gain level. I don't like to mess with gain. I like to set the gain at a given number. So there are two ways of doing this. You can set your faders at minus something, -8, -12, -10, and then leave them that way, and then sort of like balance the template using gains. So that's option A. I've done that for the longest time. The problem with that is that if you have, in a small template like this, chances are that you are going to have plugins inserted sometimes. You may be doing the mixing here. It's not like you're gonna compose here and then you're gonna export and do the mixing in another project, which you could definitely. But maybe sometimes we just have 30 tracks so that we can actually mix in here. It should be easy. So you're gonna start inserting plugins and dynamic plugins, compressors, etc. If we are balancing using gain, you're gonna change the input of that track and it's gonna affect the dynamics process, and we don't want that. So the other option could be to set the gains at whatever, at 0 or -5 or whatever, and then balance the template using the faders, which is what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna set all these gains to -4, and I'm gonna gain 4 dBs here. I'm gonna set this at -6, so -10 total. I'm not gonna change gains, and if I need to balance things, I'm gonna use the faders to do that. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start with the staccato strings. Let's see, high staccato strings. So these are loud. Maybe 6 point. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring them down, because even though we can balance things here, ideally, if I had all the patches, so you can load them in your template and you don't have to mess with the volumes in Cubase or Logic or DP or whatever, then that would be best case scenario. So I'm gonna go here to low strings and I'm gonna open them. So this is -5, 0, 14. -14, and this is 6 and 6. So I'm gonna bring this down by 6 dBs, so at 0 sort of thing, and this by 6 dBs, so -2, so like this. That's it. I think I can bring it down like a dB or so, -2. think it can go down a little bit more. Let's bring it down at -3. Let's bring it down at -3 here. And let's bring this down at -4.7. Alright, we're gonna open the violins a little bit here, and the violas more like towards the center, and like this. When we're done adjusting all this, then I'm gonna export all these patches. Alright, cool. Untie this. More. This is definitely too loud. So we're gonna bring this down -9 maybe. No. This is gonna be this loud. Or maybe classic mix instead. And bring it up. It's gonna give it a more natural sound. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It feels like more natural. So when you're doing this, try always to, obviously the higher register is gonna stand out, and it's like, oh, it's too loud. But if you bring it down where everyone else is, does it still stand out that much? Ah, cool. So this will be the volume for this one. Now, yeah, this sounds good. All right, cool. Oh, cool. This is still a little bit too loud. I'm gonna bring it down by 2 more dBs. All right, cool. Yes. -3, yes. Yeah, this is a good volume. And this is a duplicate, so this is -3.5. This is a duplicate, so we're gonna bring it to -3.5 as well. 3.5, something like that. And now this is going to be 16L, so that looks good. 16L, cool, all right. Cool. And obviously I'm not realistic in strings arrangement, but I'm trying to use all the tracks, so just to make sure that they are all balanced. So this is loud, but it's good to have that power. Let's see. this is good. Maybe bring it down just a tad. And 6 point something. That sounds good. Double bass sustain, let's see. This is gonna be a tad loud, but I wanna have that power for the double basses. You know, because sometimes you're gonna want more cinematic type of extra low end. We can have it loud but soft sort of thing. So it's loud but it's soft. But we need extra volume for that, so I'm gonna leave it there. Wow. Same thing for the staccatos, but not that. Cool, this works. Pizzicatos. You can bring down a tad as well. Not that much. Yes. Alright, let's see about these guys. Yeah, this works, but it's a little bit too loud. What we're gonna do is -3 and a little bit to the right, because we've got the cellos. It's a little bit too soft, maybe classic modern mix. Let's see, classic mix. I chose it for a reason, but I'm gonna need to bring it up a little bit. The goal is not to be able to hear it. The goal is when it's at the loudest that realistically it would sound the way it should sound. And so with this texture, with the strings in this mid-low register for the staccatos, if we would have a cellos section legato line in this register, it would have a hard time standing out. And the higher you go in register, the more tense the sound gets. And also you're sort of like getting out of this staccato texture, you should be able to hear it more. The lower we go in register, you should be able. At this point, it would start adding sort of like support to the lower area of the strings. But again, we've got the strings staccato here, so a legato line here. Like if we've got something specific in mind, it could make sense. Basically, in this case, I should be able to a little bit more than feel it, but not clearly hear it, if that makes sense. A little less. Yeah. And finally, cello tremolo. Yes, maybe too loud. Bring it down by -2. Yes. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna continue doing the same thing with the rest of the tracks, but this video doesn't need to be too long, so you don't need to watch me do this entire process. Sometimes we do chats live where I go for like an hour or so, and you can see me doing the entire process. And if you've got the I'm a Composer course, there's a video where I'm doing this like 2 hours from setting up to balancing and testing the template. It's Nucleus as well. So what I'm gonna do is once I'm done balancing everything and adjusting, I'm gonna go one by one these tracks, and I'm going to open them and then save multi-as when it's a multi-instrument, and I'm gonna save it here. So for example, this one is gonna be 0-1 orchestral short notes, and then etc. I'm gonna move down when it's a solo. When it's just one patch, I'm gonna go here and save as. I'm gonna save this specific patch, and then the only thing that you need to do if you want to use this template is open your sequencer, Logic Digital Performer, Cubase, whatever it is, load these 35 instrument tracks with Contact, and inside Contact load those patches. So for the first one, for example, just label it and then open. This is gonna be blank. You're gonna go here, load, and then you're gonna select this one, number 1, orchestral short notes, CC2 control squire, double click, and it will load these 4 patches, and they will be already balanced and panned and everything. Go one by one, and you should have a template that sounds exactly like this one, no matter what sequencer you're using. All right, so this is the end of this series. I'll see you in the next video.